not perfect. Nobody or nothing is, but it's all about the true commitment to reducing. And I think that's the biggest step that you can make.
Nienke van Kloosten and Igor Kloon. You guys are the founder of VAAN Yachts, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Excellent. Yes. What an amazing yacht, what an amazing dream, what an amazing vision.
Thank you.
I absolutely love this vessel. I think we're on the R5 here.
Correct.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right. You started with the R4, now you got an R5 and an R6, right?
Correct, yes.
We can go a little bit more into detail about the different vessels in a minute, but let's just start off with the whole backstory. How did you guys get started? Why did you start building yachts? You're not traditional yacht builders, right?
Yeah.
Well, we were on a holiday, and Igor is the sailor. I'm not a sailor. And he wanted to buy a new boat, but we have 4 children, so we were thinking, what kind of boat would it be? And then
we need 4 boats, really.
Yeah.
Everybody needs 4 boats.
Everybody needs 4 boats.
You would say that, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this cat came into the bay that we were at, and then I said, well, that's nice because you have this inside-outside connection and. It looks nice, and he said, "No, that's not a sailboat. I want to sail." So he started sketching, and 3 months later we had a brand.
Maybe even less. Yeah. So from that beach, I said, "But you have never sailed. If we're going to build our own boat, let's at least go sailing first together." And I booked from the beach. I booked a rental boat back in Holland, and we had Dutch weather. So we were in the marina, it was raining cats and dogs, and we were just inside, which is cozy enough. But that's also where already the brand name came up. So it went real quick, actually, from a boat for ourselves to a brand.
And so does VAAN actually mean anything? So I have to say your logo, I mean, it's here on the table. It's one of the most beautiful things I've seen. And inside the boat, the little elements where you can read VAAN. But does it actually mean something in Dutch or in another language?
It actually happened in that rainy day. We were not going to go sailing that day because it was just very nasty weather. I was lying on the couch and I was looking up the mast, and on the top of the mast is the wind vane. And that's what VAAN means in Dutch. It's a VAAN, yeah. So that's the level of our creativity. We were saying the words we were seeing.
Yeah. Well, I guess it sounds nicer than anchor.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Excellent. No, I mean, I have to say, we've done that as well. We've chartered catamarans and gone on holiday with them, and they've got a lot of advantages. We sail a monohull on a lake where we live, on Lake Constance, and it's great to get out and sail at the weekend. But the actual catamaran feeling, the living style of it. And I believe as well, one of the focus points of your yacht is also about making it feel like a luxury hotel room. It just has a slightly different feel to it to most yachts I've been on, or most catamarans I've been on.
Yeah, we want it to be feel like an apartment on the water. Mm-hmm. So we have this very open space. We want no clutter, no all this visual stuff, just tranquility and
I think it helped also that you didn't grow up on boats like I did. So there was a fresh view on that. I mean, I think the exterior also has quite a fresh view to it, but you really brought that to the interior because there was no history there. It's why do all the boats look like a boat, right? Is that necessary? Is that mandatory? No, it's not. What do you want, right? And that's what gave it a new fresh start.
And that's where innovation comes from. You know, I don't know, there's a guy called Ed Catmull, and he was actually the founder of Pixar. Right. And after the takeover from Disney, he's now, I think he's still the manager of Disney animation.
Yes.
And so Ed Catmull, he's done all right for himself, but he had a dream, and he dreamed from a very early age to make the first ever fully digital film, which of course was Toy Story.
Yes.
But what I love is he says that innovation and creation, he's written a book, Creativity Inc., and he says creativity comes from when 2 existing things collide.
Yes.
And I think that's what's maybe happened here. We've got somebody with a sailing tradition and somebody who's a brilliant interior designer, if I've understood correctly, Nienke. That's your background, right?
No, it's not.
Really?
No.
Okay, I got that wrong.
No.
But brilliant, yes.
that will be the YouTube short. I've researched really well, haven't I, Nienke?
No.
No. Okay. I work in communications and PR.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was just
from
our parts, I guess.
Okay.
That's what
I think whenever something comes from, yeah, usually new ideas start with what do you want? What do you want? And I enjoy the cat, but I wasn't grown up. My father always told me cats aren't sailboats, so that was my initial reaction. But then it triggered me, like, couldn't it be? Why isn't it a sailboat? And why doesn't it look better? Like most of the cats I knew just were hideous. And most of them are not sailing because they don't sail very well. So those really were the starting points for let's try to do this. Let's make them good looking and good sailing and a fantastic place to be.
Yeah, and it seems to be that you've done a great job in doing exactly that. And I know the catamaran industry altogether in the last 10 years has gone through such a great transformation. If you look at, like used boats, the 20-year-old catamarans, it's like, well, maybe, but really it's a very, very different vessel to what we had 20 years ago. But the other thing which we haven't spoken about yet, and that's, of course, the big interest for our podcast, is the whole sustainability side. You've basically put sustainability right in the middle of your business model and said, let's build from first principles and think about how we can do that, right?
Yes. We define the VAAN brand, it is 3 S's. So the essence are 3 S's, sailing, style, sustainability. So it is, you're right, it is at the core of our decision making. And it's not hard, to be honest. It's not hard. Everybody says, it's got to be very... No, if you put it at the core of your decision making, it's easy because you have maybe 50 options to choose from interior woods. And then we asked, and we got a box with literally 50 samples. And I said, so can you take out everything that isn't FSC certified? And we were still left with 8.
Yeah.
So it isn't hard to choose from 8. It's actually easy to choose from 8. But all of a sudden you make a big leap forward. The same was, of course, our choice for aluminium for the hull, which is the bulk of the material, the bulk of the weight, and also the bulk of the CO2 impact, of course. And aluminium is 100% recyclable. So our thinking was at least an end of life, we got it covered because it's 100% recyclable. And then we started asking, well, why don't we buy already recycled aluminium then, right? If it's so easy to recycle, then let's buy that is already recycled. That proved to be a little bit harder, but ultimately we found our partner Hydro in that, and they were looking for customers that were asking for this. They actually had a product ready, and nobody was asking. None of their traditional clients were asking for it, and they were happy that we were.
Well, let's hope that you're going to inspire lots more people to do that, because that is the big frustration. And we find this all the time. I mean, please don't tell people how easy it is. Our business model is to help people to get their sustainable business models. But joking aside, the easier it is, the better, because the purpose of our company is to make that happen. And so just mention, that Hydro's got a product and it's waiting for clients.
That's right.
You guys have a use case and it's looking for suppliers. And that's what it's all about. It's about collaboration. It's about getting people to connect with each other.
Yeah.
And I think we can save the planet really easily if we stop, whinging about it and actually just start working together, right?
Yeah.
I think the difference in impact just from that choice to go from fiberglass to aluminium is a big, massive step. And then to finally find already post-consumer scrap. There's a whole big discussion, a really technical debate about what is post-consumer scrap and what is not. There's virgin material that has never been used but considered scrap, or there's true post-consumption scrap. And we found in Hydro a really good partner that understood this and didn't want to do any greenwashing. Neither do we. But yes, the impact, there's a 95% energy reduction if you use post-consumer scrap, so, as opposed to virgin material, mining bauxite. So these are old window frames, license plates, traffic signs. They are the alloy closest to what we need. And then they just work it up with in a like a refinery process. And then it becomes new aluminium again, but with 95% energy reduction.
And I mean, it's one of the easiest materials, not just metals, but materials to recycle, right? I heard a statistic recently that 80% of the aluminium that's been used over the last 100 years is still being used for something.
It's without any loss.
Yeah.
So you can do it. It's truly circular in that sense.
Yeah. It's excellent. It really is. And the other good thing, of course, about an aluminium hull is it's great for cold water sailing, right? It's a more robust structure.
Yeah, it's very solid.
Which isn't only, I mean, it has that image of it's great if you go north to the ice, but right now if you go out sailing here, you'll encounter a lot of debris, stuff, trees, containers floating. There's so much stuff out there floating around, and rocks, of course, also here. So having a strong hull is actually good anywhere you go, right? It's just simply safe.
Yeah. Excellent. And if we talk about this, we're saying we've got a boat that's made out of recycled aluminium, but I know you've also put a lot of effort into the whole circularity of your concept. So before I hold a long speech and prove that I did my research, maybe you can say it in your own words. So tell me about the boat. How much percentage is recycled? How much is recyclable?
Well, we try to use all the materials that we try to use are recyclable, except the sails.
Except sails and adhesives like glues, those are difficult.
So the rest is recyclable end of life. But we also use cork for the decking and for the table. The fabrics are already recycled fabrics.
Yeah.
We use for the ceilings we use recycled PAT. The bottles.
Crazy, huh?
So we try to do it everywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's never. Quite often the discussion on sustainability gets flattened to a black and white discussion, right? It's either sustainable or it's not, which is neither of those two things are true. It is just about reducing impact, and it's a very measurable metric of CO2 emissions per kilogram of whatever you put on there. And I think our effort is in constant lowering of that impact. So even if you look at a cork decking or a cork table, there's quite a few manufacturers there. But some are 50% cork and 50% polyurethane glue, right? To glue the cork together. Yeah. And it has a finer grain, so some people like that look better because it looks more like teak. And this has a 20-80 balance between true cork. And so I think the difference is that we go deep into that discussion and analysis. So it's not a quick, it's cork, so it's good. No. How much better is it? Not just good or bad, but how much does it actually reduce in terms of, and there are other areas like this is painted aluminium, because also you got to make a boat that also looks good and is sexy, etc. So but that's a 2-component polyurethane because it needs to be scratch resistant. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is we're not perfect. Nobody or nothing is, but it's all about the true commitment to reducing. And I think that's the biggest step that you can make.
And of course, when you're using the motor as well, this is an electric propulsion system as well. It's not just about the aluminium, it's not just about the cork, but it's also about the way you move when there's no wind.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's electric propulsion with a hybrid setup. A boat is a nice sailboat. It's your platform, your holiday platform, but it can also be the way to get out of a storm. So for safety, there's also a hybrid setup, but it is all electric. We sometimes have to look at the display when we're getting into the marina. Are the engines actually running? Look at the RPMs because you can't tell. It's so quiet.
And I think that's the best way to move forwards as well, because sometimes I have the feeling that sustainability is just unlucky in being maybe not the first, but it's the biggest time I've ever seen innovation get judged on. If it's not perfect, we're not doing it. If you think about Carl Benz, Mr. Mercedes with his car, nobody said, hey, there's no stereo and I don't like the sunroof. It's like, this thing, it's a horseless carriage. Sure, it was controversial. Not everyone loved it. But innovation didn't stop because it didn't have, a diesel injector in it yet. Yeah. And with sustainability, we have an electric vehicle. I keep mentioning on every podcast, the listeners will be sick of it, but we love that car. And it's not 100% perfect, but we feel it's a lot better than, the carbon cars we've been driving before.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's true.
Even in the beginning of the electric car, like the first Prius, there was a lot of discussion. This is actually less sustainable than a Hummer. I don't know if you remember that. But it's also about which path are we on, right? Was the first Prius really needed to create a new path so that the 10th iteration of that thing was truly sustainable, right? Or at least a lot more sustainable. So I think it's also about you can continue on that old path, but it will never lead to the target where we all need to go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's the same throughout your life. I guess you can never eat meat again, become a vegan, or just eat like twice a week.
Yeah.
right? And that's a big step. And you don't have to judge each other for. I mean, in the beginning, when we were starting this business, people would say, "Oh, but you." So now you will never fly again because that's very bad. No, sure, we have to fly sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get to places, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not about calling you out because you're on an airplane, right? It's about actually saying, okay, we're just not on an airplane every time. Where we live, it's really difficult to take a train. I force myself to take the train as much as possible. But honestly, it takes a long time. And to be honest, Deutsche Bahn isn't so reliable at the moment. So I'll generally drive to the Swiss border and get on a Swiss train. It works better, you know?
Reliable.
Yeah. Embarrassed to say it, but it's true. Deutsche Bahn, get it sorted. I'll stop whinging.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think on the other hand, yes, it's sort of unfair scrutiny that the ones that are actually making steps are always called on the things that they're not doing yet. On the other hand, I think that scrutiny is really good because there's also greenwashing. There's also people saying, look, we have this, recycled toilet paper and now we're a green company. No, we need to make it all measurable, transparent, have similar KPIs that we measure each other with. Yeah. So scrutiny is good because otherwise the progress is easy to dodge and not happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you there as well. And I mean, if I look at, your own company, where's the future from here? Where do you want to move from here? Do you have the next goals? I mean, I don't know if I'm asking for the family secrets here. So, this is going on the internet, but...
I think when we started 6 years ago, and it's quite nice this moment, 6 years ago, we said, without a boat yet, anything, we said we want to be a little spark that starts a bigger fire for this industry. I mean, we love selling boats, we love the boat shows, we love, the product design, the nitty-gritty details, but we did start it with a broader intention of really poking the industry to see if we can nudge it towards a better. And the innovation award that we got here at the Cannes Yachting Festival 2 days ago was actually really exactly saying that VAAN has touched the industry and shown and demonstrated that actually you can make a sustainable product without any compromise.
This fantastic. And tell us about the award as well. What exactly is it for? Because I know it just came up a day or two ago that you got this award.
Yes, it's there's an innovation route here highlighting the companies that are trying to innovate and move the industry forward. And there were a few categories, and we won in the category for innovation in manufacturing process and sustainable manufacturing process. And again, that all these awards, it's fun and games, but at the same time, being here in a French industry and a French boat show, being recognized for pushing the industry was a good moment for us. I'll be honest. It's your question was, what's the future? I think we with that vision in the background, with the idea of changing the industry and demonstrating that it can be done. We're right now in the moment where we have to demonstrate it can be done. So we can build the boat, but we now have to be a boat builder like any other boat builder, is sell boats, be a company that constantly listens to the customer. Listen, we want this thing over here. Can that be done? So it's really boat building 101 right now. But in the background, there's always, we're moving to a new point on the horizon.
I understand. And instead of saying we're boat builders and now we need to get sustainable, you said we're sustainable builders and now we need to get boaty, right?
There you go. Yeah. Otherwise, there's no impact. You can have a vision, an idea, and even build that vision and idea. But if it doesn't become a sustainable business, as a business sustainable, then the impact is still zero.
Yeah. And tell me about the boat itself. I mean, we're going to take a walk around in a minute, but what's your favorite feature on the boat? There's so many nice things. I've only seen this thing so far, on films on the internet, but I'm really looking forward to seeing it in real life. But what's your favorite feature?
Well, my favorite feature is that it's so quiet on the inside that when you close the doors, it's just this, you have this bubble, right? That's amazing. It's very... Yeah, what do you call it? You can say, what?
Yeah, no, it's quite often that the sustainable choice that you make, like the aluminium for the hull, also results in other benefits. And the two hulls of a catamaran tend to twist and turn, and then they crack the interior. There's this squeaking, and this boat doesn't do that at all. So when you're sailing in waves and you close these doors, it is dramatic.
Calm.
Yeah.
Calm is a good...
Serenity, yeah. Serenity now.
So what's your favorite feature?
Ooh, I just love sailing. I mean, I like the exterior design. I like the interior design. I think it blends together. When I look from the dock and look into the boat, I think it is a great marriage between inside and outside design. But it's also really a sailing machine. And that, I think that combination, we're sitting here, luxury, comfort, inside the AC is on. It's all really nice, and it's a sailing machine.
Excellent. And tell us, for the listeners and the viewers, give us the statistics, how big is the sail, how powerful are the electric motors? People love to know these things.
Can I get my cheat sheet there?
Yes, you can, yeah.
No, I think, I sail areas I don't even know. This is a 19-ton full load weight, which for 49 feet is fine. It's not a racer for sure, and that we didn't set out to build a racer. Obviously, it's way too luxurious for that, but it is a fast cruiser, so you can you go anywhere. The first VAAN just passed under the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. The owner sailed it from Hellevoetsluis to San Francisco, so it's a go anywhere yacht.
Is that the audience that you're targeting? This doesn't look like your classic kind of holiday let sort of boat. It's not. Is it something where you're trying to target people that are going to live on board, or is it more for private owners, or is it more for charter companies?
It's more for private owners, yeah. But people that just want to experience the world. We say sail the planet. That's our line. So just go anywhere, enjoy it, don't mess it up.
Yeah,
exactly.
Be careful, but just go anywhere. And you can take your family because the boat is big enough. You can go alone if you want to. You can have a crew on board if you want to. So it's in that way for people who just want to explore. And you can explore for a weekend or you can explore for 9 months. It's up to you.
Nienke van Klooster, Igor Kloon, thank you so much for your time today. It's
Thank you.
Really fascinating, and thank you for being a game changer.
Thank you.
Thank you.